Hey there, sales champions, and welcome back to Blackwood's Academy Sales Tip of the Day. We're going to take a little bit of a different direction today. We're going to look into cold emails. Usually on this channel, we're talking about cold calls, about selling in person and just closing the deal at the spot or in a follow-up call. But something that we can't, ignore is cold emails. And they've become the bread and butter of sales in the modern day. And if you know how to do it right, if you have an email list, you can really do a lot of, you can do a lot of groundwork just straight off the bat with one good email. And it might set you up for future success for when you follow up with a call. So they are very important. So the problem is that why do so many of them get ignored? So if you ever felt like you're sending an email into just a black hole and it just gets disappeared and you hear nothing back, stick around because, like I said, today we're going to be diving into both the science and the psychology behind effective cold emails. I'll show you both not just what to write, but also how to use psychology to make your emails irresistible. Plus, I'll share some game-changing tips on how to figure out what to write. A lot of the time people just assume or make, guesses or assumptions. And as you know, if you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So we want to really uncover their pain points before we even hit the send button. So let's just dive into it and look at the first part of it, which is why most cold emails fail. Well, look, let's be honest. Most cold emails fail because they're generic, they're irrelevant, or come off as desperate. So we don't want to do that, of course. We don't want to be one of those many emails that hit their inbox and just just get ignored. So the psychological insight on this is, people get look, they get bombarded by hundreds of emails every day, and their brain are just wired to filter out anything that doesn't seem immediately useful or engaging. So you gotta stand out in their inbox by speaking directly to their needs and creating that connection. So, how do we grab their attention? Well, the first hurdle is, like I said, you're just getting them to open your email. So this is where psychology of attention comes in. People open emails that are relevant, surprising, or emotionally engaging. Remember, they buy an emotion and then they justify it with logic afterwards. It's one of those core principles that we talked about here before, and it's just one of those things that you're going to have to get used to. Like you would, look, if it was just about, what's it called, the logic of it, you would just have to show them the numbers and it would just, the most logical choice would have always get chosen. But it doesn't. And you know that. Anyone that's been in sales for a while knows the feeling when you lose to an inferior product or inferior competitor. You don't understand why. So how do you get them to be emotionally engaged so they want to open it up or relevant or surprising? So the example of an effective subject line would be something like, is, your pain point? Is your CRM slowing you down? Or a quick idea for how to increase your sales or whatever it could be. And your competitors are already doing this. Are you? Question mark. Use curiosity and personalization to make them think. I make them think I need to open this up. I need to check this out. And it's one of those things that just comes naturally after a little while, but you need to do it a couple of times to, really get into it. So why you should call before you write. Okay, look, this is one of the things that I've used as a strategy, and it's been very, very, very effective. And the thing is, this isn't like groundbreaking. This isn't gonna blow your mind and just holy shit, nobody's ever thought of this before. But a lot of the time when people are writing their cold emails or are designing them, they go on past experience, they go on what their assumptions are or what they're guessing, and that can work. I mean, if you're very experienced, you know what works, and it could give you it could just do the trick. But to be honest, like if whenever I'm doing this, and I'm especially when I'm getting into a new market, I call about 50 prospects and I ask them. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just there to listen. So before you even write the email, pick up the phone, call 50 people and ask them, what are your biggest challenges? What are your biggest pain points? Where are you having most of your issues? And then when you call 50 of them, you're gonna understand and see a lot more, what is actually relevant for them. What are they looking for? So, when you understand their pain points, you're not guessing. Your emails are going to feel more personalized. They're going to feel more, yeah, personal or specific about what is actually a concern for them. You might not know it. You might guess it. You might guess something like, oh, they want to shorten their sales cycle. They want to have more people buy or come in, or shorter onboarding time, or whatever it is. But when you call them, you suddenly see that out of those 50, 40 of them mentioned a pain point that you didn't really even think about, or you weren't going to write about. And now you know. So some questions you could, use during the call. What's your biggest challenge right now with the area that's, you're going to be selling on, if it's onboarding, CRM, or anything else? And look, if you could fix one thing about this issue, what would it be? Like if it was with onboarding, better overview of where they are in the process, or an easier way to show them or do it, or in a shorter time, whatever it is. And this is going to help you. So hooking them in, you got to get them on the first sentence. So now they've opened your email, you got their attention, how to shorten your onboarding cycle, if that's what 40 of the 50 people talked about. Then you got them opening, you got their attention. What's next? Well, it's keeping it. They're going to open your email, and look, humans are hardwired to pay attention to things that feel personally relevant or validate something they already experienced. It's the confirmation bias. So example of some strong openings would be, look, I saw your recent LinkedIn post. If they've done anything about that, is clear that you're passionate about this. Many CFOs tell me they're struggling with this, or congratulations on recent achievements, or something else that you could come up with. And look, you're creating a moment of recognition where they think, this guy gets me. He's done his homework. He knows what he's talking about. Now, with the 50 emails as well, this is personalizing it. So now you've done your research, you checked them out, you're looking into them. But if you're mass emailing, then you can just use those points that you already figured out. You don't have to go quite this personalized, but you can also, because you can't do it with, if it's 1,000 emails, 10,000, you can't really get that. But you want to have at least those points in that we already uncovered in those 50 calls. So another thing, what you want to do is you want to build trust in the body of the email. And the psychological principle behind this is that people are more likely to trust someone who demonstrates authority and empathy. So how do you build trust with this? Well, references, relevant success stories. So, we recently, do a case study, or something. We recently helped company A reduce onboarding cycle by 3 weeks, or whatever it is, 2 weeks, or anything else. Include the social proof. Over 500 companies trust us to deliver the result. They trust us to shorten the sales cycle or onboarding, whatever it is. And what you show with alignment is just based on what I've heard, from your industry, this solution would solve this specific challenge. Like, look, based on what I've seen from others in your industry, our onboarding software would cut your onboarding time by 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And here are some case studies or references or testimonials or something like that to just completely bring it home. You want to use them, you got them, make them count. So, yeah, like, look, use the calls. Like I said, they're going to tell you everything there. You don't have to guess. Take out the guesswork, call 50 people, and now you know what the pain points are. It's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to make your job a lot easier. So the next thing is crafting a compelling call to action. So, again, we always go into the psychology here. People are more likely to take action when the request feels easy, low pressure, and beneficial. So tips for an effective call to action: offer value first. Would you be open to a quick call? I'd love to share a free resource on this, or a free demo, or a free month, whatever it is. Be specific with time. We've talked about this with, closings, alternative closing, or assumptive closing. Look, I'm available on Thursday or Friday at 1 o'clock or 11. Does either one of those time work for you for a quick 10-minute chat? And use micro commitments. Remember the cascade of yes. Does this sound like something you'd be open to discuss further? So get them to say yes, 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 even in the email. Like if you called the 50 people and you know that every one of them wants to shorten the onboarding cycle, and something else, like they want to have a better overview of the process, then use it. Go, hey, if we could shorten your onboarding cycle, would that help you out? Yes. If we could give you a better overview of where people are in the process, would that make your job easier? Yes. Then how about, we take this discussion a little further. Are you free on Monday or Wednesday at 1 o'clock? Yes. You've already got them in the train of thought, and people want to be consistent. It's one of those things that just works. You can look at any psychology book on this. If you get them to start saying yes, 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 you're going to be much more likely to get them to say yes to the meeting. So test, iterate, and improve the emails. Your first email won't be perfect, and that's okay. The key is to test and improve. So do A/B testing, A/B test subject lines, A/B test calls to action, and track the metrics, open rates, response rates, whatever it could be, and adjust it based on what resonates with your audience. You're going to see really fast. So if you have a list of 10,000 emails, take 200 out of 400, A/B test it, see what it works, and then when you see which one works better, you use it on the rest of the email list. So look, cold emails aren't just about luck. They're about strategy, psychology, and effort. When you understand what makes your prospect tick, you're going to see that your response rates soar up, and it is going to make your job a lot easier. Even if they don't just email back or book a meeting, when you call them and they've read the email, they're going to be much more informed and remember who you are. So let's finish this off. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more insight like this. And if you're ready to take your sales game to the next level, check out my Udemy course. The link is in the bio. So let's go out and send some emails, get some good responses, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a good day.